Full self-driving actually is pretty good, and we drive, when we go out, we drive for about an hour one way, so about 45 minutes to an hour in Los Angeles traffic. So I just wanted to show how usable this actually is, and coupled with a Model 3 performance, or really just the size of a Model 3, it is fantastic. So I'm just going to show you guys, narrate to you what's going on our daily drive, and you can make your own decision yourself on whether the $8,000 package is worth it or a $100 a month subscription. Let's get into it. And so we are on our drive. If you know exactly where this is, we're about to get on the 5 highway, and so full self-driving is about to do its first test, its first merge, its first highway on-ramp, and we're getting pretty close actually, because it needs to get into the left lane soon, or maybe it won't, or maybe, I don't know what it's doing here, because, oh, okay, it's trying to go straight actually, but I don't want to go straight, I want to go on the left side. So let's go on the 5, because the 5 is a pretty heavily trafficked route, and so there's cars coming here. So let's see, and actually it won't be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and accelerate myself. There's a truck coming on pretty fast, and then I'll throw it back into full self-driving, because I actually don't want to go down to 710. I just want to go down to 5, because 5 is the most heavy in terms of traffic, and so I want to see how full self-driving in its latest update should be able to handle all this, which it will be able to handle fine, not a problem at all. And yeah, there's not even that much traffic, anything on this side. So in terms of the software, we are version 13.2.2.1. This is a Model 3 Performance 2024 Model 3 Performance, and I really feel like the size of this vehicle is fantastic in terms of full self-driving. We also have a Model X. It's, you know, it's nice, but it's also not the latest cameras because it's a 2022. And then we also have a Cybertruck as well. But Cybertruck, it's nice as well. It's definitely, with full self-driving, it feels more sturdy. But just the Model 3, because of the size of it, it can just be aggressive, zip through lanes, zip through different obstacles and situations with cars all around. And it's pretty fantastic. But this is a usual morning commute. Full self-driving isn't really, not doing anything too crazy right now. We're just in the completely left lane, following along on the different cars. This is funny because if you probably didn't find this channel a long time ago, but this is going back to our roots. This is what we started to try and do. We used to do this like almost every single day, or at least a couple times a week, in terms of filming the drive of autopilot and full self-driving when we had our Model 3, our 2019 Model 3. But back then, it was a completely different ball game, and full self-driving was not nearly as good as it is now. But right now, this morning drive isn't necessarily a crazy route. We're just driving along in traffic, and I don't actually foresee too many lane changes or too many route changes, because it doesn't need to until we get to like the HOV lanes, and then maybe it will do something a little bit different. But in terms of the full route, we're 1 hour down to Irvine today, and yeah, so I mean, I don't see it being too crazy. One thing I've noticed though, because we've had this Model 3 for a couple weeks now, and typically in the Model X, it's a 100 kilowatt battery. We would go down to Irvine and back, and we'd use about 30% of the battery, which is about 30 kilowatts, because there's 100 kilowatts in that battery. But going down to Irvine and back, it seems to use like 33 or 34% of the battery round trip. And so today we left with 39%, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to get back home with enough. Yeah, it says we're not going to be able to get back home with enough power, so I'm going to have to figure out where to charge in Irvine while we're hanging out there for a little bit. But just an easy drive right now. I mean, I guess I could throw some different bits into this. Like, I'll go ahead and turn on the right turn signal just so you guys can see it's doing a right lane change right now. But this is where, like, if you are on the fence of getting full self-driving, autopilot, which it's doing right now, besides that auto lane change, autopilot is good enough, especially if you do like a lot of highway driving. City driving is a different story, but then even like city driving, how long are you going to be like going through a downtown area? When you're on the highway, you're usually going on the highway 10, 20, 30 minutes at a time, whereas on the city, you're pretty much, you know, it could be 10 minutes, I guess, but you can pretty much take care of it and do it all yourself. It's more stimulating. Highway is just like a set it and forget it and let it go take you to your destination, whether it's like a couple miles all the way to 40, 50 miles, which I know some of you who are watching definitely have a commute like that. Okay, so a little bit of braking now, smooth, very calm. And that's kind of the thing, like it used to be where full self-driving and autopilot would get a little bit late, on trying to brake, but now it literally drives like a human. I wouldn't say it's like 10 out of 10. On the highway, it's pretty darn good, like maybe like an 8 out of 10. City streets, it's like maybe like a 5 out of 10, but highway, it's really good. And so it's one of those things, like if you're someone that is about to buy a Tesla, I definitely wouldn't say, if this was your first Tesla, don't plunk down that $8,000. It just doesn't make any sense. Buy it, don't get the package. You're gonna get a trial anyways, and in those early months, there's just so much going on with a Tesla, you might not even realize what's full self-driving, what isn't. There's just too much stimulation, I would say, in buying a brand new Tesla. And even when Tesla gives you that 1 month, it's like you don't even know what is full self-driving and what isn't. So it's kind of funny that, but maybe you do, because you might lose some of this visualization, I think, without the full self-driving, if I'm not mistaken. But what I would say is, like, if you're buying a new Tesla, get it without the full self-driving. Just buy it. You'll get that full self-driving trial, 1 month. And then if you, after like 2 to 3 months of owning it and understanding the vehicle and all its different features and everything, then go ahead and sign up for the $100 trial again, or just wait until they give you another trial. They're giving them out like candy at this point. And then see if it really impacts your life, and then go from there. Because I really like it, because autopilot, it's good. Like you can get on the highway and it can just go like what it's doing right now, follow along on the cars and accelerate and brake and keep you in that same lane, which is fantastic. But full self-driving takes it to another level, because you can literally just sit back and then it will take you to that highway on-ramp and even take you home as well. And so it's really nice. And then couple it with like a nice phone mount like this, and you can see it's like right in the line of sight, plus some sunglasses that we're wearing right now. Then you can see it's perfect. Actually, it's almost perfect in terms of the setup. So any sort of road trip, any sort of long commute where you're going 20, 30 miles, but like majority of it highway, like 60 to 70 miles highway, 60 to 70% highway, 60 to 7%, not 60 to 70 miles. It's pretty good. And so this is great. And I don't really feel like there's going to be a lot going on this drive, because, or maybe it's me, because full self-driving has gotten so good that this is a normal day-to-day for me, and it might be a crazy experience for someone that's brand new in a Tesla, but I definitely sign off on not the $8,000 package, but the $100 a month subscription, 100%. But you got to be doing some sort of commute. Like if you're doing at least 20 miles a day, I would say that's worth it, 100%. But yeah, I guess I'll wait a little bit and see if there's any other crazy clips, and I'll turn it back on. But that's pretty much my 2 cents for the day. And I forgot to mention, here's my settings for autopilot full self-driving. Definitely on the full self-driving at the top right. Supervised start FSD from park, definitely 100%, and then hit brake to confirm. And then the profile I put on hurry, and then max speed offset 40%. I feel like this could it go higher? No, I can't actually. So 50%. And then expanded visualizations, actually smart summon, and then here's all the other settings if you're interested as well. All right, so this is a fun situation. Usually I take the HOV lanes because we have the HOV stickers. But it seems like right now the HOV is closed. So there's some cones right here to push full self-driving, push this vehicle out of the HOV lanes over this double line. double lane lines. And so of course now there's a car in front to the right side right here, and so Full Self-Driving has to figure out how to merge behind this car but in front of the other car over double lines, which it probably does not like this at the moment because it's supposed to be following the rules, right? But it seems like it's okay. And look at that, was able to make that lane change pretty successfully, and we were going like 70 miles an hour right back down to bumper traffic. And so the question here is, after we get past this area where they're doing some sweeping or something of the HOV lanes, I probably have to manually force the vehicle back into the HOV lanes because it's definitely not going to be able to do it on its own. And yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is weird. Looks like they've blocked this area with the truck, and maybe they're sweeping it or cleaning it or something. But I wonder, can I just go back? Because it's just that area they're fixing. So can I just go back into the HOV lanes? There's no way that this is going to be able to do it on its own. But I'm like a little hesitant because I don't know. I mean, there would be cones here if I wasn't able to do this, right? Like, I should be able to do this. Alright, so I'm going to try and see if give Full Self-Driving a chance, but it's definitely not going to be able to give it its own chance, so I'm just going to go ahead and accelerate. And now throwing it right back into Full Self-Driving. Alright, so this will be a fun one. We are getting right off of the exit right here, and Full Self-Driving did a lane change perfectly, and it's got to do a couple more, I think. Actually, no, there it is. So here's another lane change, aggressive, and I mean, that's the thing with Full Self-Driving. It's good now. Like, I remember years ago in 2019, it was like super hesitant. It would like wait way too long. Now it just like, it sees the opportunity and it goes for it. And so now we're getting off in the exit. Ooh, a little bit interesting there. It was in the middle of two lanes. We're making a right turn off of the highway. I'm not touching anything in terms of brakes or nothing, and we're coming to a stop. Light just turned green, so it's perfect. I would probably have been in the right lane so I could do a quick pull over and do a quick right turn at the stop sign, but perfectly fine. We're avoiding a police cop right there with a big semi, going right around it. Perfect maneuver as well. And then now we're coming to another light and pulling behind another Tesla Model 3. This will be an interesting one because these cars coming from the left are pretty fast. It's like a 3-lane or a 4-lane road, and this is a red light, but we can turn on right. So let's see if Full Self-Driving, look at that, perfect, pulls out onto the road into the right lane and immediately makes a left lane change, which is super nice, super well planned for the Tesla Model 3 performance. And here's another Tesla Model 3 performance right there, all matte black and everything, looking really good. And then that's a Camaro, right? SS or something like that, loud vehicle. We're gonna go to the car wash really quickly, spray it off because it's been covered in soot and everything over the few days. And so now we're gonna be going to the car wash on local roads right here, so you can get a good idea of how this actually performs. And it's more so the same. We did a couple turns right there, and that's what I say. Like, if it's very comfortable to be driving in Full Self-Driving. You can literally sit back, listen to podcasts, listen to music, decompress once you trust what it does. I know that first few times, or that first like 10 times that you drive, you're not going to like what it does at all. And so very interesting to see. But this is all local roads right now. I don't see any turns or anything before we go into the shopping center. And I guess we could, well, that's on the wrong side of the shopping center. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and we'll see if there's any other opportunities coming up.